Hello everybody, Sid here from Sid Sur Real Estate, and today I want to talk about the top 5 mistakes that people make when buying a pre-construction condo. Now, a lot of people want to get into the pre-construction market, buy pre-construction properties. Before you go out and buy that brand new condo, that brand new pre-construction home, make sure you avoid these common mistakes so that you can save yourself thousands of dollars, but also not lose all your time and money. So stay tuned till the very end to find out all of the mistakes. Now, before I get to the mistakes, if you find any value in this video, please go ahead, like, and comment on this video, and of course, don't forget to subscribe. Also, let me know in the comments what you think is the #1 mistake people make when buying a pre-construction condo. Okay, so let's get right into the mistakes. Mistake #1 is not buying with a reputable builder. Time and time again, I see a lot of people that buy pre-construction condos, but they don't buy with the right builder. It is very important, and in my opinion, just as important as the location is buying with the right builder. You want to make sure you buy with a builder that has a track record of completed projects, that the builder does not have any canceled projects. The reason being is if you have a builder that has canceled projects in the past, their likelihood of not completing the next project is quite high. In many instances, you will get your deposits back, but what you lose out on is the time, or the builder may come back around and ask for more money because they didn't account for all their necessary costs that's associated with the construction of the unit. Another thing you want to be aware of is you want to look and see whether the builder has done projects and completed projects in the past in that area, that neighborhood, that city. You need to ask yourself, or find out really, whether this builder is new to the town, new to the city, new to the area, because that'll tell you whether or not they have the resources to complete the project. You also want to buy into a builder where your layouts are asked to your liking, that their finishes are asked to your liking. And the best thing I tell all my clients and myself when I buy pre-construction is I go in, I look at their past projects. I'll drive to their last completed projects and I'll look at their finishes, I'll look at their layouts, I'll look at their overall quality of work to see if it is up to my standards. Mistake #2 that I see a lot of people make is not accounting for closing costs. Keep in mind, pre-construction closing costs are different than resale closing costs, whereas pre-construction you have more closing costs than you would in resale. Typically, you're looking at about 1 to 4% of the purchase price is what you need to account for. In pre-construction, you have additional closing costs that you don't have in resale, such as development charges, levies like parkland levies, educational levies. You have your meter hookup charges. You have many additional closing costs that you don't have in resale. You want to make sure that you go over the agreement of purchase and sale under closing costs to see exactly what they are, and most importantly, you want to make sure that those charges are capped. Okay, the last thing you want is a development charge fee of $100,000, which I've seen, by the way, and be stuck with that bill or not be able to close and lose your unit. And that brings me to mistake #3, which is making sure that all of your closing costs, and especially the development charges, are capped. Very important. You go over your agreement and you make sure that your education levies, parkland levies, your development charges, that they're all capped. They have some sort of cap on there. Right now we're sitting in September of 2022, and what I've seen over the last year and a half is 1-bedrooms are typically capped anywhere between $10,000 to $12,000 for development charges, and 2-bedrooms are anywhere from $15,000 to $17,000. I've also seen agreements where the builder will advertise that these development charges are capped, however, that they will send an amendment after you sign the agreement, actually firming up those development charges. So very important that you review these things by a competent person, obviously a lawyer. And that brings me to mistake #4, which is not having your agreement reviewed by a lawyer. Guys, very important. You want to make sure your agreement is reviewed by not just any lawyer, but a lawyer that specializes in reading and looking over pre-construction agreements. Pre-construction agreements are, in some cases, over 200 to 300 pages long. You do not want to read them on your own. Trust when I tell you this, you want to get them reviewed by a lawyer. On our team, we make sure that every single client gets their agreement reviewed by a top pre-construction lawyer in the city who goes over every single line to make sure that your interests are protected. All the charges are capped, that there are no surprises. I've seen clients who've obviously not purchased through us, but come to us and say, hey, I bought this condo back 2 years ago, and they're telling me they have all of these surprise charges that come up, or these conditions that they did not know about that catch them by surprise. So you want to make sure that you use your 10-day cooling off period from the time you sign your agreement of purchase and sale. You have by law 10 calendar days, not business days, 10 calendar days to do all your due diligence. And that's when we make sure our clients get their agreements reviewed by a pre-construction lawyer to make sure all the charges are capped, that there are no surprises in there. Another thing I want to add to that very quickly is you also want to make sure that your payment schedules are in alignment with what is advertised. Sometimes I've seen agreements where the builder will advertise on their marketing material a certain payment schedule, but you go into the agreement and the payment schedules are completely different. So sometimes the builder will also send an amendment after you sign the original APS, the agreement of purchase and sale, shortly after, with the amended payment schedule that matches what they're advertising. So again, it all comes down to getting it reviewed by a competent lawyer to make sure that your payment schedules are as you expect them to be. There are no surprises. All the development charges are capped. You have the right to lease during interim occupancy. And what happens in the case of delays? What is their plan B? So you want to make sure you review all of that up front. And that brings us to our last and final most common mistake. Mistake number 5 is not buying early enough in the sales process. If you are an investor, you want to make sure you buy as early in the sales process as possible. As an investor, your goal is to always get the most return on your investment from your pre-construction purchase, and that is always done at the earliest stage of sales, which is typically the platinum stage. Okay, the platinum stage is the stage where the builder just releases a handful of units, a very small portion of the building, where they only give access to certain agents called platinum agents, where they get allocations only for their clients. Platinum agents are agents that have worked with the developer in the past. They have made consistent sales for the builder in the past. They have a good reputation with the builder, a good relationship with the builder. And so the builder prioritizes them and gives them early access for their clients way before the project and the sales go public. By the time the condo units go from the platinum stage to the public stage, prices go up tremendously with every new release of units. So always make sure you buy early. And that wraps up the 5 common mistakes when buying pre-construction condos. Guys, thank you for watching. If you found any value, again, please go ahead, like, comment, share, and of course, subscribe to my channel. To book a call with me, if you just want to pick my brain and ask any questions about pre-construction, you can call me at 416-414-8923 or click the links that go to my social, as well as a link to book a call with me. I'd be happy to chat with you. Thanks.